Okay, really quick. In class, we're going to be launching into a conversation about rates and proportionality. But before we get into that, you really need to kind of review yourself over what a ratio is before we start talking about how to find a rate, and definitely before we start talking about proportionality. Real quick, ratio. Let's remind ourselves what a ratio is. A ratio is a comparison of two different items. There's actually three different ways I can write a ratio. I can write it using the word to. I can have a number to another number, or an item to another item. I can also write it using the symbol, the colon symbol. I can have an item colon an item, or a number colon a number. And then of course the final way, which is really the way that really gets the most attention, and that's the fractional way. And the reason for that is that we know how to mess with fractions. Fractions, we're comfortable with that. So this is how we generally see the information shown to us, or how we see it presented in a problem, is in a fractional format. But we need to be prepared for when it shows up in a word problem using the word to, or possibly when it's in one of our answer choices using the colon symbol. So ratio, very simply put, is a comparison of two different items. Now, what you see over here is Kinsey's fruit stand. And what you can see there, obviously, is that Kinsey has a lot of different fruits available to us. So let's create some ratios using these fruits. Just see what we can come up with. Let's find the ratio of apples to oranges, and then let's find the ratio of, let's go with watermelons to pineapples, and then we'll do an interesting one here. We'll go with green fruits to red fruits. Alright, so let's just go right into this. Apples to oranges. All we gotta do is count the apples and the oranges. And in place of those, or with the word apples, we're going to put the number. So how many apples are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 apples. How many oranges are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 oranges. So what's the ratio? 5 apples over 5 oranges. Or another way of saying that, if I were to simplify that by 5, I would get a 1 over 1. Yes? So in her fruit stand, for every single apple, she has an orange. Yes? For every single apple, she has an orange. Sorry about the phone call. All right, now what we have now is our next question, which was to find the watermelons to the pineapples. Well, let's look over here. Let's find our watermelons. Well, they're over here. Let's count those off. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 watermelons. How many pineapples are there? 1, 2. There are 2 pineapples. So the ratio there would be 3 watermelons to, or for every 2 pineapples. Write it in that fractional form. I want you to notice you have an improper fraction. But one of the misconceptions that you have with ratios is that we got to treat it the exact same way we treat a fraction. And that's not the case. A fraction is a singular value. So we can kind of mess with it in a different way, but a ratio is a comparison of two different numbers. It's very important that we maintain that there's only two numbers there. If we were to mess with this like it was a fraction, we'd make it into an improper fraction, and then there would no longer be two numbers there. There would be three. And that doesn't fit into the definition of what a ratio is. So we've got to leave it improper. In fact, we don't even consider that an improper fraction. We look at that as the ratio of watermelons to pineapples. Now, our final ratio question in our review here is green fruits to red fruits. So we just got to do exactly what that says. We've got to find all the fruits that are green fruits and all the fruits that are red fruits. Some of these red fruits are pretty small, so they're kind of difficult to count, so you just have to trust me when I count them. And some of the green fruits, it's kind of left up to your own opinion. But the way we're going to work this is if a fruit's got green in it, we're going to count it. No, we're not going to do that, because then we'd be including apples in that. Apples is not mainly green. So let's go with if it's mainly green, that's what we're going to go with. And that's definitely true for the watermelon and our pears right here. Those are mainly green fruits, okay? All right, so let's figure that out. Green fruits, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one that's behind the strawberries. 5, 6, 7, 8. There are a total of 8 green fruits. Now, how many red fruits are there? Here's the strawberries. It's kind of small, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The cherries, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, up to 16 so far, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 red fruits. So 8 over 21, 8 green fruits over 21 red fruits. That doesn't simplify, so I can leave it as 8 over 21. And that's pretty much what a ratio is. It's very simple. I take whatever items that I have in my question, and I find out how many of them there are, and I put that in my ratio. And I can write it 3 different ways. I can use the word 2, I can use a colon, or I can put it in a fractional format.